As the years passed, after 2014 on my return, I continued to look for ways to assist the bishop. Bogart's strategic plan was indeed completed, but I could never get anyone to read it in Australia. Eventually, the bishop himself came up with an alternative plan, the mushroom farm. Now, the bishop believed that the cultivation of mushrooms by the students could be a profitable enterprise, so he set about building one on the school grounds. Meanwhile, Charles kept visiting the school at regular intervals, sometimes more than once per year. His electronics continued to be an inspiration to the bishop and immensely popular with the students. Eventually, I asked my friends again to make donations, and again they generously stepped up. I made a return visit to the school in 2018, and I wrote the following report on my return to update the donors and thank them for their generosity. Quote, "It is such a pleasure for me to update you on the progress of the Under the Mango Tree project. As some of you may know, I've recently visited the school again in Ghana after a 5-year hiatus. I've been looking forward to this visit for such a long time, and I was not disappointed. In spite of the endless challenges Bishop Agbezi has faced, I knew the school was going well. So my expectations were high for the visit, but I have to say that my expectations were exceeded when I saw with my own eyes what was happening in the school. It was so pleasing to see the bishop and Joyce enjoying good health. There are so many daily challenges, so many stresses and strains, yet both seem to be enjoying good health. The campus itself had changed dramatically in the 5 years. It had been transformed by the planting of grass and shrubs, giving it a very different look. Donations had been used to build an outdoor canteen in which the students now ate. Greenery has necessitated the purchase of a lawnmower, which has already made several trips to the workshop for repairs. The school bus, which is still the only vehicle on campus, has been converted to gas because it's cheaper to run with the help of donations. It's an old vehicle, but still has some life in it yet. The bishop drives it to Kpando about 3 times a day to pick up supplies. It's a 15-minute ride, but 3 kilometers of it is some of the most appalling pothole road I've ever seen, and that takes its toll on the vehicle. The bishop picked Charles up and I at the airport. The beast broke down 3 times on the way to Kpando. In fact, we had to complete the final 10 kilometers by taxi. Say no more. The mushroom farm. Well, yes, the mushroom farm is doing well, thanks to all your donations. Or at least it was until the pandemic came. There's no doubt about it that the pandemic had a negative effect on everything. When I was there, the bishop harvested a crop of mushrooms which were duly taken to market and snapped up very quickly. There was no problem selling them. There's a strong demand. The problem is the labour required to tend them. The labour must be skilled, and at the moment the bishop has to do absolutely everything himself, or he had to at that time. Hopefully he'll be able to employ someone with the necessary patience and skills to help him with this arduous task. When I was there on this trip, I did some more training with the teachers and tried to revive the debating club. We managed to put on a debate for the bishop and the other teachers. The students were wonderful. and teacher Meredith provided her enthusiastic help for the debating. That was nearly 6 years ago, and there has been the pandemic since then. It became very difficult to sell the mushrooms then. Of course, the school struggled during this challenging time, but due to the monumental efforts of the Bishop, Joyce, and their team, the school has survived and is indeed thriving again. Before the pandemic, my old friend from Wa Secondary School, Matthias Poza, the former Speaker of the Parliament, in fact, in Accra, kindly visited the school and he promised to help in any way he could. The examination results for 2023 were excellent. Both Charles and I are planning to go back again soon. This time I hope to raise the profile of the school in the local community by doing some teacher training with the local schools in the area. What I can do is very limited, but I will do what I can. However, I also go back for a very personal reason, to be inspired again by the Bishop. In the next podcast, you will hear all about the development of the mushroom farm.